Hello, Mr. Conejo. How are you?
Good morning, Freaky. This is some pretty loud elevator music.
Oh, this
There we
is called
go.
Mystic Future. Yeah, it's called Mystic Future. So it's just a song to dream with all the mystic magic we're making. So hello, everyone. I think we're ready to start. Carlos, how are you?
Sure thing. Let's get the ball rolling.
Perfecto. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another State of DEGA. This is, I think, is the August State of DEGA right now, and happy to see you all. Let's bring our community. We have Mr. Carlos René, CEO and founder, and the Rabbit King, our COO, ready to tell you what's going on, what's coming, and answer some of your questions. So, there you go, Carlos. You got the mic.
Awesome. Thank you, Freak. Happy to be here again with you and the Rabbit. We recently had a call for the community. I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So there's like several follow-ups to the things we discussed there, and also a few new things that will be. Actually, we have a blog coming out tomorrow, but we'll do a little bit of let's say, conversation around the topics that will be posted there, right? So tomorrow we're going to be publishing the strategic plan for DEGA. I think it was Pavitt that decided to call it phase two, but essentially, the upcoming 6 months of work that we will be doing. So let's get right into it, right? So one of the key things here that just reminder, obviously everybody knows we're already performed TGE. There's already staking live that you can do with your DEGA token on token farms and on BiFi, depending what's your network of choice. Regarding the claims errors, I think most of them have already been solved. There's still like one or two. Those are going to be shipped tomorrow, most likely. A worst case scenario would be by Monday, and that will solve all the remaining claims issues. Next up, what are the plans that we have around the DEGA token itself? So there's one feature, which will be the first one that we'll be working on after we finish up all these tickets. And it's what we are calling a gamified DEX. So a lot of people have already jumped in supporting DEGA on DEXs, and we want to give them an extra reward, right? So, but that's an entire product conversation. We will publish a whole article about that and how it'll incentivize the let's say, markets over at Texas. Additionally to that, there's one thing that we had already mentioned a few times. It's just that it's taking a little bit more time in terms of preparations, which is the 8 bond release, right? So we'll probably want to go to another EVM chain with lower fees besides Ethereum mainnet, and add there the bond release, which is something that's going to be essentially a discount for buyers, and all of their purchases will go into community protocol-owned liquidity, right, via Uniswap V3 vaults. So those are kind of like the three things that we will be doing around the DEGA token, right? It's the gamified DEX, integrating it in an EVM, in a cheaper EVM chain, and adding the 8 bond sales as well. They're very those guys are some of the coolest teams that I've seen so far, and they're very excited to work with us. So we'll get that rolling. That's regarding the DEGA token per se. Then regarding DEGA Realms, we have a few partners that are going to come here and they want to share their gaming experience with us, do a little bit of a giveaways. I'd love to give out their names. One of them is one of the largest Web3 gaming companies in the space. But until we finalize the details, it's just better to wait for that. But everybody here will be able to tap into specific game assets that will be reserved for the DEGA community. We have 2 of those coming up. And in terms of features and plans for what we're going to do in DEGA Realms, right now, actually tomorrow, where we post the strategic plan, you'll be able to see all of the products in different categories. But essentially, For the DEGA Survivors game, we're waiting on a key strategic partner to launch that with. We have a lot of them in conversations, but we got to finalize which one we're going to be going with first and then execute. Then there's the degens, right? And before the degens, there's actually a prequel of a product release that I have to do. That one I'll be programming myself personally, and it'll be the DEGA AI framework, right? Essentially, the layer that abstracts away blockchain complexity and allows you to be able to interact with it by just having a conversation via chat. And then once that's released, then I'll start working on more of the visual side of things for the degens. Freak says that my mic is sounding weird, and the reason for that is because I'm using my AirPods. I'm not at my home office today. Unfortunately, we had a power outage here in this side of Costa Rica, so I had to come to another, like a rented office for the moment, and obviously I couldn't bring my good quality mic, right? So apologies for that, everybody. All right, so that's the product releases regarding DEGA Realms. There's be more information in detail tomorrow, and of course, happy to follow up on that. Then we have the ambassador program. So we decided to shut down the ambassador program per se and move everybody to the elite squad. The reason for that is, we didn't. There were some good things that we really liked about the ambassador program, but there's other things within the format that we weren't happy with. So we decided to just close that out, and it'll probably have this is the second incarnation of the ambassador program. It'll probably have a third incarnation once we finish up a few things, but just wanted to let everybody know on that side of things. Is there anything you'd like to add there, Richie, since we have you on the stage regarding the ambassador program and the elite squad?
No, the main thing is, well, to everybody, I don't know if there's, I think here there's not people from the ambassador program per se, but if you find some of those, just tell them to join the elite squad. The process to join is the same as for a community member. So just speak with one of our mods. You can talk with Frog and just fill in the form, and we'll invite you right over. We want to get the people that were actually doing like quality work and really got engaged with DEGA into the elite squad, and move to other type of programs also that we'll be working on in the future. That's kind of like the gist of it.
All right, that's cool. Thanks for that, Richie. Awesome. So let's keep going. Next plans for the product, well, I already gave that away. And next up, we have, a few questions. There's a few that already Phoenix was kind enough to compile for me. I'll go through them. And then if there's something else missing after that, happy to take questions within the chat, right? So let's see. Yeah, so one of them is, plans to claim on BNB or Polygon. Like I said, that's definitely coming. I can't give you a date exactly right now because after TGE there was a little bit of chaos. We're reorganizing priorities and we're still closing out the last few tickets. But yeah, that's coming, right? We probably need to just decide whether we want to do the gamified DEX or we want to do the cheaper EVM first. Then there, let me see. Add staking options on the new chain, at least not immediately, right? Not literally as soon as we start, but eventually, yes. Regarding the BiFi variable APY, to be honest with that one, we need to follow up with our friends over at BiFi. Actually, Rabbit, since you're on stage, could you do me a favor and text right now the BiFi crew and ask them about the possibility of integrating the variable APY on their staking module? But yeah, I mean, they were interested in it, but it's another team, right? We can't set the priorities for them. We work with what we had, right? In each of the chains that we were, and with the specific partners that we had, right? And the BiFi team has been great. Much love to them, and we're going to keep working with them. But again, they're their own team, their own priorities, so we'll move at their speed regarding that. Let me see what else. Okay, yeah, regarding the Matic to Pole token conversions, I'm going to be honest with this one. I'm not following that progress, that program. Like I know it's happening. I've seen the post, but I have literally no idea what's going on between the Matic and the Pole tokens. So I have to check that out. But Polygon has a lot of applications being built on top of their system. So whatever they do, they'll probably do it in a very, let's say, non-violent way, right? I don't think they're just gonna crash the entire system. But yeah, we gotta check that out. Is there an announcement for the airdrops for the elements for people that people have in their wallets? Yeah, there's there was some issues with people doing their migrations with the PNPs. But to be honest, with that, we've been really understanding because that's a feature that was released about 7 months ago or so, I think. But at the end of the day, we want to be as helpful as we can. So there's still some people doing some migrations with that. So we gotta after that we'll be able to tackle that the airdrops conversation, right? The the airdrops also is something that we gotta reassess with all of our partners right now. Some of them, as everybody here has seen, the traditional markets and the crypto markets, we are experiencing a considerable crash. So some of the teams are taking it slow, right? And again, that's something that's very important that we don't control our partners, right, and their teams. So we gotta move at their speed, right? They're the owners of their tokens and their operations, execution, and prioritization, right? So as soon as we can get more information across the board on all the different airdrops, we'll keep you guys up to date on that. Let me see what else we have here. Let me see. There's a question around the Silver Dragon and hardware wallets. I'm sorry to say that is not going to be addressed in the near future, at least not for like 2 months at the very least, maybe even more. We're just swamped with a lot of work already, and it is what it is on that side of things. It's a gift from our side, right? It's not something that we're obligated to do. Of course, we'd love to make sure that everybody gets it, but we got to pick our battles, right? And we have a lot of stuff on our plate right now that's critical for the next 6 months. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to tackle that one, to be honest. And somebody's asking if people can claim, post TGE their DEGA tokens, on their elements if they did like a PNP migration or a raffle or whatever. And yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Like the system's already working. It's made to work pre and post TGE. So yeah, even if you do your PNP migration now, once you do it, it'll work within the system, right? Let me see. Regarding the conversation around token burning, that is something that is very much going to be happening. We just need to sit down and do a proper analysis on the tokenomics post TGE. But yes, we'll be reducing several tokens that were not allocated. That's one. And the team will also be reducing its own treasury allocation, right? So basically, the largest owners of the DEGA token will be both the community and the private round investors on that side of things, right? But yes, that is definitely coming. It's I would say it's probably a level 2 priority, but it'll start happening either next Friday or, in the worst case scenario, the Friday after that, right? It's more so that we just need to sit down and analyze a few metrics in terms of how much we'll be burning from that. Are there other exchange listings in the works? And then, people asking about Bybit and OKX and so on. Currently, there are not, right? To be honest with you, we would need to see like considerable demand increase for the DEGA token for it to be worth listing in any other platform, right? Because there's this confusion about, you list in an exchange and you get audience, and that is absolutely not the case, right? Like, basically, people just do it because everybody does it, right? but you gotta bring your audience, right? You are responsible for making sure that people are, craving demand for your token, right? And until we see the volume pick up on the current exchanges, be it the Dexus or Nexi, it's really not worth it to list in somewhere else, right? So once we see that, then it'll organically. The reality is, it should be something organic, right? Like you should have so much volume that the exchange wants you to list with them. That's how the ideal situation should be. Obviously, there are some projects out there that before they do their TGE, they have 300,000 followers on Twitter, 100,000 active wallets. Then you can probably estimate that, yeah, in that case, it makes sense to have 3 centralized exchanges because there will be the demand for the token there, right? So that's kind of like our position on that side of things. And those were all the questions that Phoenix was kind enough to compile for me. I'm happy to take more from the chat. I don't know if Richie or Rabbit, you guys have them already handy for me, or if there's no other questions.
I'm not seeing any questions. A lot of comments, but not any questions except for the last one that just came down here from Zeke. When JPEG store listing for elements?
That's a good one. Yeah, we really need to be there. All right. Yeah, that's a simple enough one. Let me take note of that.
Froggy's saying that you can already sell and buy over there.
Oh, in JPEG store. Okay. I mean, to my understanding, they are already scanning the blockchain and just indexing as many NFT collections as they can. We should be there then, but not sure.
I don't think we just have a presence there. They might have our stuff on chain, but there's no DEGA presence there at this time.
Well then, cool. Anything you'd like to add, Rabbit, to the conversation after laying out kind of like the 50,000-foot view and answering Phoenix questions? Something that you want to lay out?
No, I'm just where I've been spending a lot of my effort for everyone's understanding is the Carlos briefly mentioned the AI framework, and I'm very excited about working on that and figuring that out. Specifically, the work that we're doing with Venus Protocol. We're going to be checking in with them real soon about what that's all about, how that's going to work, and how we're actually going to make it available to you all. So I'm not going to go too deep into that because Carlos and I are still kind of like doing the whole design on that side of things. But that's really what Carlos and I are good at is this AI integration. So there'll be more to come on that.
Yeah. For kind of like think about like a ChatGPT pod that allows you to do operations on chain for you, right? It can do a swap for you, it can do lending for you, it can use a bridge for you, whatever, right? It'll be multi-chain, just like everything else that we do, and we'll allow plugins to be built into it, right? And this is kind of like the basis. The chat interface is the basis for then adding the gamified interface then on top of that, which is the Degens interface, right? And then that Degens is a whole other world that we're going to be going into, right? But yeah, that's where we are.
Oh, and CCC, that is an automated, just to let you know, that is an automated procedure that I've had to go in and like talk to them before about that. I don't know why they make that like immediate claim like that without checking with the project first. But Carlos is aware of it. I'm aware of that. I don't know why it's there. We check all the boxes for safety and security and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're just seeing like a new contract and they're just immediately flagging it. I don't know why, but we're checking in with their support yet again to find out why that's being displayed like that. I don't know if you're seeing that, Carlos. That was that was the thing I raised with you a couple of days ago around blockade, like throwing
Yeah.
up a deceptive request thing. It's like ridiculous. There's automation and there's good automation, and that's just automation. That's not no. It doesn't
I
feel like any
mean,
real good
you
thinking went into that.
shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't flag something as bad by default, right? Because then
Yeah,
you know it should be like unknown. That's what they should say. Like we don't know, right? If this is safe or not, right? So do it at your own, peril or risk or whatever, right? But straight out saying that it's a deceptive contract, like I have no idea, right? Because we built a clean contract from scratch, so we forked it from somebody else. So we built it from scratch. So I have no idea why they're doing that.
and like I said, we just got to go and talk to them again. I mean, they did that with the ISPO, and it's like, okay, here's the fully transparent audit. Did you guys not take that into consideration? Oops, we'll fix it immediately. You know, but anyways, it just causes everybody headaches.
Yeah, true that.
Well, another question comes in. Someone asked about when will we be on tap tools? And are DEGA interested in building a Dune dashboard for project analytics?
I'm cool with both of those. Like to be honest, I can't handle any more tasks in my task list. I'm swamped for the foreseeable future. But if anybody wants to take that up from the community, happy to give you any support that we can. That's one thing. And then regarding the spaces with Mario, we did like a package with them that's done, right? So for the foreseeable future, there will be no more spaces with them specifically. We are also cutting down a little bit on the spaces because, again, we need to deliver a few of the components that generate utility and demand for the DEGA token right now. But yeah, that's where we are with that.
And then the other one, okay, so on the Dune analytics dashboard, Carlos knows how excited I get about analytics. So if anybody in the community wants to jump on something like that, I would be there to consult if you want help with that. Love me my analytics.
Hey, you don't need to know SQL, John. You can just ask ChatGPT. Nobody programs anything anymore. You just ask ChatGPT to get it done for you. Just copy paste stuff.
Yeah, for something like that, I actually, Carlos, just to let you know, I wouldn't recommend ChatGPT 3 for that one. There's actually a really good SQL bot out there that's specifically designed to write really, really good SQL based on what SQL language they're using. And of course, didn't use a standard SQL language. So
Okay.
I don't even know if that would work or not. But anyways,
Worst case
like I
scenario,
said, I'm there to consult.
it'll cover the basics. Worst
It'll
case
give you
scenario, it'll
something.
cover the basics. Yeah. Any chance of a dashboard for realms where we can track our elements and clickable DEGA tokens? Yes, there is a dashboard planned for that. We wanted to have it ready by TGE, but we were swamped with a lot of work. And there was a lot of stuff we had to deliver before that, like Injective and many other releases. But yes, that one is in the roadmap.
And just to respond to Phoenix, yes, I'm very aware. That's why I use the if I'm going to use anything for programming at all, I tend to go to Anaconda. Anaconda's programming helper is incredibly good for an open source product. when Carlos clone. You're talking to the Carlos clone right now. What are you talking about? This isn't this. This is the Carlos clone right here. We
Real
gotta make
Carlos
like
is
they take
Real
a little
Carlos is
while to grow,
chilling.
guys.
Real Carlos is chilling in Costa Rica, man.
Where's the real Carlos? Anyways, okay. What else we got here? Anything else down here? I am, just to let you know, Phoenix, I am planning, I am trying to plan a more geeky chat spaces with a couple of folks from our partnership and community around coding, AI, advanced analytics, and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone's interested in that, just keep an eye out for it. It's still in the planning phases. We want to make sure that we got a good narrative and we're not just out there, you know, doing the rabbit up on a soapbox for 10 minutes kind of chat. So we will talk. There'll be more on that as we get that all laid out. If you're interested, is there financial reserves to hire on additional devs while the current devs focus on TGE claim issues, or is that not
So
financially viable at this time?
yeah, right now, guys, again, as you can see in the markets right now, you go to heck, forget crypto, right? Just go and see any market, and not even the American markets. Go see Taiwan, who had the worst experience in the last 57 years, and so forth. Like, it's important to take care of capital right now, right? That's kind of like the most important thing. And also remember, it's just not that we just grab somebody from the street and put them in and give them access to all the DEGA systems, and then they'll immediately become either productive or trustworthy, right? Crypto is a
Thank you
very,
for saying that,
very,
Carlos.
yeah, crypto is a very delicate matter, right? If I just throw somebody in there that we don't know and they start sharing, it's you guys that will be affected, right? Like you, the community, will be screwed if we put in somebody that doesn't have, you know, ethics or morals, right? So we wanna make sure that people are properly vetted. That would be one thing, and then the other thing is their capabilities, their onboarding, their learning curve, and so on. So it's not just a matter of throwing people in there, right? That's one thing. And again, we want to be conservative right now, right? Everybody's like more in a survival mode right now than anything else, right? What matters is that we can get through this storm that we're having in the crypto and traditional markets and be ready, right? So when the good times come, they'll come hard, right? So that's kind of where we are with that, right, guys? And be
Yeah.
patient, right, on that side of things. Like, and quite honestly, if you compare Dega to most of the projects out there in the space, we keep delivering, shipping, building nonstop, right? Like you can go and see any project out there and see how many different types of products or different types of systems and modules they release, right? You'll barely get a release every 6 months or something. We're releasing almost on a weekly basis, right? Monthly in any case. So yeah, and we're multi-chain, right? That's something that, quite honestly, I mean, philosophically, I love it. But now that we've been at it for like a year, being multi-chain in terms of operations really lays a burden for us, right? Because we got to build everything on EVM, on Cardano, on Cosmos, etc. Right? So it has advantages, but it also has disadvantages on the operation side of things, right? So yeah, that's kind of like in terms of speed of deployment and building, we're already ahead of most of the teams out there. So just be a little bit more patient on that side of things.
And Phoenix is actually backing up the upside of this too. Is it's like people people aren't copy paste. You don't like just copy paste people into things. It takes time to even get up to speed. I mean, even the AI models that they take time to get up to speed. I mean, it takes like weeks to train some of these models to do what we want them to do. So just keep in mind that things do take time, and that knowledge isn't I'm just going to dump this into your head and you're immediately going to get it. I mean, look how long it takes to get some of our products and services out here at DEGA to you all. It's like people still come in and ask questions about things that we've been talking about for months. So just keep that in mind, that it's even more true when you're dealing with a complex system and infrastructure like blockchain.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly right.
Any other
All right.
questions out there?
Oh, Zeke's, it's worth mentioning Zeke's comment. Being cross-chain is signing up for a lot of pain. Pioneering has its consequences, but amazing work. Thank you, Zeke. Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
And that word, and for everybody in the audience, that word that he's using, which is pain, that is the exact correct word, right? We're signing up for a lot of pain by being multi-chain. As you guys know, it's part of our philosophy in the sense that we want to meet you wherever you are to fulfill your vision. But it is hard. It is painful for us because it's like, oh, we just got it to work on Cardano. Now a fucking pain to get it to work on EVM, and vice versa, right? Oh well, it's done. It works beautifully in EVM. Then we go to Cardano. Oh shit. So it works one place and then it messes up on another. Injective integration, that was like a 2 month work, just that, right? Doing Ethereum ISPOs, that was like another month and a half work, and so on. So yeah, I mean, again, we've been releasing so many things, so many products, right? And it's been a lot of work on that side of things. Um, for anybody out there that wants to do a project next time, I would rather advise to stick to one ecosystem first and then go multi-chain. Like we went multi-chain from the start, so it's been a massive amount of work and challenge on the operational side of things. I think we've handled it well, right? Considering all the different types of products we're releasing. But yeah, it's a lot of pain.
Okay, now
In terms of
we're
what
falling
can we
into
expect to see 2, 6, and 12 months from now? Yeah, that one we'll be posting that tomorrow, guys. So you can check that out. Obviously, follow up with questions in the chat. Some of that I already discussed here today. Some of those things you guys already know that are coming. But yeah, essentially we'll lay out the product, the token. Most of it, I just mentioned almost all of it right now in the first half of this conversation, but you'll get it in writing tomorrow.
I'm just trying to get through this monkey chat here. Okay. Oh, now I see Zeke's question down there. Yeah, roadmap stuff. Anything else? Anybody out there? Anybody have any other questions? Oh, factories. Any update on factories?
Yeah, so factories is probably one of the coolest concepts that the Rabbit and I are in love with in terms of the innovation it can bring to the space, but it is new, right? And it's not conventional. So we're probably going to be prioritizing the AI infrastructure side of things. So AI nodes, AI protocols, and metachains probably above factories, right? Um, it's still both are relevant for the data token demand, but unfortunately, it's kind of like we would have to like educate a lot of people on the factory conversation, right? Whereas infrastructure nodes, meta chains, and whatever else we're already building, it's kind of like already out there, right? Some of those things you guys are already well versed at. Some of those things our partners are already waiting for. So we kind of need to prioritize that before going into factories. Do we have anything to offer for metaverse projects? They have to be 2D for you. No, we don't. They don't need to be 2D, right? Already, for example, Cornucopias has used some of our SDK components for their release. They actually used it for their node sale on the EVM side of things. We talked about it last time I was in Copy Cafe. And yeah, I mean, we can definitely work with existing 2D metaverses. And besides that, 2D or 3D, doesn't matter. And besides that, there's also like collaborations outside of the technological side of things, right? I was actually talking, I think it was last week or the week before, with one of the largest Web3 games in the space. And yeah, they want to come in here, do a special giveaway for you guys, for the community, host an event, play online together. and then see how we can integrate their tokens and NFTs into our games and vice versa. So we'll, take it a step at a time, but there are several potential collaborations coming up on that side of things. Yeah, no update right now. The NFT nodes, that'll probably be involved with their, the NFT nodes are going to be, let's say, a attribute or a dimension of all the infrastructure that we're going to be releasing. In the blog post tomorrow, you'll see conversation around the AI framework and some other components. And then we'll have to release an article specifically about each of those products, right? And that's where the NFT conversation will come into play. Notes will most likely be, yeah, they'll most likely, we're still kind of like trying to figure out what's their best combination, because like one of the key things that we wanted to use them is combined with the elements. But a lot of you guys obviously still need to do claims of DEGA with your elements. So I need to figure out how to not affect one thing with the other, right? Because if we'll publish a little bit more of information on that side. But the important thing to also note is that all of this will be DEGA denominated, right? We're not going to be doing another NFT sale for, another token. It's going to be with your DEGA, right? So you can put your DEGA to use, be it staking or be it in purchasing. And just for everybody here to know, if whenever you see a sale in DEGA denomination that is coming from us, we will grab those DEGA and burn them. We will not keep them, right? So it's very important for y'all to know that. So it's not like you're injecting it into our pockets and then we're putting it back into the market. We're just gonna burn them. So and that's when it's burning, and obviously when it's staking, you're just staking, right? They're still yours. So that's where we are with those things.
Oh, come on, Phoenix.
Platinum Dragon, nice.
Any kind of new NFT or any kind of, I mean, the elements are core, as we've talked about as part of our utility on the platform, but any kind of new NFT is going to be functionally oriented. So it's like we can't right now, just based on even what Carlos said, it's like with the factories conversation, it's like factories are going to be a core infrastructure piece. So the attributes that are associated with that factory have to be thought out a little bit more. So that would be the same with any other kind of new quote unquote NFT that might come out of the lab. That's a question for Freaky. Freaky there?
Yeah, just too much noise in here. We're leaving the Smash cards for after everything is solved and all the deployments. We will start with the Smash card contest and esports team. So that's something it's on the works on the back, but we will announce it once you guys are like everything is working out and everything is flowing.
How can gaming projects in the discovery phase, you might want to know what a discovery phase means to you, collaborate with DEGA for blockchain integration? In other words, how can these building game products team up with DEGA to level their blockchain game? Carlos, do you have a response on something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things there. First off, on the technology side of things. Next up, we're happy to bring you up to speed in terms of operations as well. Building a game is one thing. Building a Web3 community and all of that is a whole other universe. So I'd say right now, if you have one, Alaruk, just DM me then, send them my way, and I'll check them out.
Bring back the Battalion bot. That was fun.
You could integrate it into the AI chat application.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Okay. Any other questions? This is your chance. Nothing? Okay, so well, if there are no more questions, Carlos, why don't we move it back into a summary of what our priorities are right now, and maybe we can just wrap it up.
Yep. Happy to do so. So summary is number one focus is clearing out all the tickets. Should be done between tomorrow or Monday. Then after that, it'll be on the token side of things, going to another cheaper EVM system and deploying the gamified DEX. Then on the infrastructure side of things, it'll be the DEGA AI framework. And then after that, building the degens on top of that. Then once both the roguelike Survivor game and the degens are out there, they're being played, and we're getting real world feedback from that. And then we'll loop that into the DEGA Realms builder. So that's kind of like the vision in short for all the things that are coming up.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so if we don't have anything else, Freaky, do you have any words of closing? You said it was loud over there, so I don't know if you're going to be able to speak. Music? All right, thanks everybody for hanging in there with us while we get everything all straightened out for DEGA Phase 2. There'll be more to come in the coming days. But as usual, feel free to reach out to me or Freaky or anybody on the team on Discord, and we will do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. Love y'all.